Well, good evening and welcome to another show from Scale Model Ninja. It seems to have somehow gone live a bit quicker than I thought. Probably because I've done something wrong, but never mind. I'm back to left to play with the buttons on my own. So anything could happen. So, carrying on from last week's Warhammer builds, we have been working on my son Roran's Blood Angel army. So, what I have completed so far is one of the pieces of armour for him, and that is his Razorback Rhino tank. So we've got that one completed, and we're now about to start doing his Rhino on its own with just a twin bolt guns for defence. So that's what we next up, I think, on that one. So I've got it all made out into parts that I want and taken away the parts that I don't want, and we'll just go into chat and have a quick look to see who's actually made it in today. So first up we have Wendy Hickson saying good evening, hope you're all keeping well. And then just me saying hi to Wednesday and saying hoping she's well too. And she's just saying I'm keeping well, thank you. And we've got Hugh Gordon saying evening everyone. Hugo's still on the prowl tonight. Have a good one. Thank you very much, Hugh, and welcome to the show. And there's me just saying hi to Hugh. And we've got Sprue and Glue in, David. Good afternoon or evening, David. He's saying hi all, just going to be lurking. You're going to be a bit of a lurker tonight, are you? Yeah, well, these things happen. And then we've got Korra Pink saying evening all. Hello, Mrs. M. And we've got Hugh Gordon saying howdy Dave, you lurker, yeah. And then we've got Nigella. Or is it Daniela now? Can't remember fully now. But one of the two, it's Scale Model Chaos. Saying evening. And we've got Hugh Gordon saying hi to Korra. And then Korra Pink saying hi to Hugh. And evening to Chaos. And you got Hugh saying... Oh, sorry, you got Scale Model Chaos saying hi to Korra Pink. And that's chat caught up for the time being. So we'll pop down to Matcam, and there we go. So first of all we have Mr. Razorback, and he's the one that I first completed. I started it not actually on the live stream, but I thought, well, it'll just give it a chance to get it finished, ready so I can actually start up on the next one. So here we have my take on the Razorback, and my son is very, very happy with it. He didn't want it weathering up, which is okay by me. He just wants it looking clean and tidy. So, yep, that's how that one's now turned out, and all the interior was all done on the inside, which you can't really see. But yes, he was very happy when he saw that finished. I've got the dog whining down here again now, just because we've started hearing people talking. I wonder if Mrs. M might pop down a minute. Okay, and then we have been working on the new Age of Sigmar box set as well, and these are the creators. It's the female versions of the Stormcast. So I've been playing around with that one, just working on it, getting there slowly. And I've also done a bit more, well, the last 4 that I'm doing of the Hobgrots. So yeah, these are the last 4 that we're doing of these. I don't know if I've got a bit of white paper. Might explain a bit easier. Here, well, Why do you want one piece of paper everything else has to come back? There we go. So yeah, so that's one of the little hobby grots that I've been doing. He's nearly finished. He's just got to have the base done and the weathering of them, same as that little one there. So there's that one. Yeah, we've got him with his two little knives. Not really getting to the view there, so we can bring the light down a bit more. There we go. That might be a bit better. Oops, don't want to blind you. So, yep, that's that one. And then the last one, where he's throwing his club at somebody. So, and that's them. So that's what I've basically been up to this week. I've been messing about. So that'd be complete Hobgrot squad done from the box set. There was a few others that are repeats of the ones that I've done, so I've actually given them away to somebody. Don't really want repeats. I've got ones that I need for mine. So as you can tell, we have a pile of bits. So I'll just go zoom back out again. There we go, so we've got a pile of bits and a few more bits up here. So basically I've primed it ready and then work on it. Come apart just swing. There we go. All sort of basically ready for me to paint up. On this kit, because it's a second hand one, this one I was given it by a friend. He didn't have the raised body of the spacey marine that I needed for him, so I decided that I was going to use the one spare from the last kit that I was doing, and decided I was going to use that one, so it fits in quite nicely. So I can actually put the bloke actually working the guns. We've got all the other small bits all sorted out, so you can have a little rocket launcher on him, and all the other parts that will be painted together. And there's certain parts that I can stick into place at the moment, which will be these once I've tied them up. And then we've got the two big hatch doors that go on the back, where the other one, which we don't need the parts to, which was had a hatch cover, had a turret section for it. We don't need that on this one, because you're just going to be box standard Rhino APC vehicle. So first of all, we're going to start my these bits out of the way a minute, move them over and get these doors, and we can basically stick them in position anyway. We don't really need to paint the internal section of them. That's it. So I sometimes find it's easier to glue these parts in ready. It's Daniela this month. That's right, I thought it was. Yeah, Daniela. And we've got Hugh Gordon saying evening scale models chaos, and scale model saying hi to Hugh. And Hugh Gordon saying Danny, sorry. No, it's Daniela. So that's how that one will go in there. And then you will be going in there, like so. They seem to fit okay. You know, so I have actually pre-drilled out the exhausts, so they're ready to be done. Same as the little gun barrels. I've actually pre-drilled them, so it makes life a little bit easier. And it saves me messing about with a drill bit later on, and then probably end up spiking myself live on air, which we don't want to be doing. It hurts when you do silly things like that. And we've got Wendy Hickson saying, good evening, Hugh Gordon, Sprue and Glue, Korra Pink, Scale Modelling Chaos. Then we've got William Rayburn coming in. Ah, good evening, William. welcome to the show. Saying hi Ross, Korra Pink and everybody in Chatland. And you've got Scale Modelling Chaos saying hi to Wendy and hi to William. Wendy Hickson saying hi again, William Rayburn. And William Rayburn saying hi Chaos. She's getting hugs and smileys. And there we've got James coming in from JC Bricks and Builds. Good evening, James. Now I have got a quick little thing to mention before we carry on with this a minute. I did have a little present turn up from James, and that is a Lego tank. Now, as you'll know, my logo is a little tank with a ninja in it. So I'm going to hunt upstairs in the kids' Lego box and find out one of his little Ninjagos. And then he's going to go into the tank. And then I'll probably end up at some point gluing him together and painting him black. So then it'll look like my little logo basically, and do some little red highlights on it and everything. So that's what I'm going to probably do with that. But I will be videoing this build at some point. So I just want to say thank you to James for my little present. Much appreciated, mate. And cheered up my little week. It was pretty bad at first, so yeah. Ooh, good. So I will be doing that at some point. Doing a video build of that. So I've just got to learn how to do it. There we go. And we've got William Rayburn saying hi to Wendy. I think it's hugs and kisses and love hearts. And you got Daniela saying, but it's fun watching you hurt yourself. It may well be fun to watch me hurt myself, but I don't intend to. Not since I last put a scalpel into my leg. Don't really fancy doing that again. And we've got JC Bricks and Build, or James saying to hey SMC and Wendy. Get it right, James, it's called Daniela. Then we've got William Rayburn saying hi to James, and then hi to Sprue. James is saying hi to William. Should do a tank buddy build, Ross. Could do. Something to think about. But it's just whether I've got the time to do it at the moment. Because hopefully Thursday I should be back to work. Tomorrow I'm not, because I've got a little doctor's appointment. And before you say it, it's not to check if I'm sane, because I'm not anyway. That doesn't really matter. So, what have we all been up to this week? What have we all had on our benches, and what we all building at the moment? And what's been in your belly? If you want to answer that one, please put it out into the chat, and then we'll read it out at some point. So, we will need these. So what I'm going to do first is, we will be doing this Mephiston red as well, again. So, not that one, that one. So I'm just going to go around the inside edge. Make it look a bit easier. This is the fun part, just doing this edge here, because it's sometimes a bit easier to paint this before you put the doors in. And as long as you don't overload your brush too much and get it over the edges, it should, in all theory, be able to paint and give a smooth finish afterwards. That's in all theory anyway. And as I've been informed by my son that he doesn't want them weathering, it means any little minor errors, I cannot hide them. So I've got to be a bit more careful in how I actually paint these now. But we have had my little lad working on his little Space Marine that he's doing for himself. He's finished putting the base coats on. Next we'll be doing the yellow shoulder pads on it, and then outlining it with the gold. And we'll be painting his gun and everything like that, and think after that. But And that's the point when he normally asks Dad for guidance. God knows why. Because I ain't got a clue. Let's see. We've got Korra Pink saying hi to William, Wendy and James. And Korra Pink saying, Dave. Hi David, sorry I missed you. And then you got Scale Modelling Chaos working this week. Belly, a sausage in Spanish pepper sauce with crispy potatoes. Potato! Then we've got Bench, just started a 135th Sherman. Very nice kit. Is that the one you got off of me, mate? Because if it is, it's the Dragon kit, then it's a nice one. Okay, so that's that ready to go in. So we'll just glue in one into place. Now that we've got there we go. Yeah, we don't need the doors open on these because we're not putting them into a diorama, this one. This is actually what my son is actually going to use on a gaming board at some point. There's never a door come. I did have it a minute ago. Come here. See me, really. Duh. Come here. So yeah, I mean it's I've actually taken a bit of time out this week for myself. So I actually enjoyed just potting around at the bench and getting me mojo back to where it was before. Because you do occasionally lose it and it doesn't help. And having a few other stressful moments. But battle it on. And we get there in the end. Daniela saying working this, and he goes, it was. Ah, that's good. Yeah, it is a nice kit, that Dragon kit, mate. I thought, as I have two other Shermans, I think, or two or three anyway, in the stash, including the Rifle Models Firefly. Which I'm looking forward to building, which will probably be at some point. I'll probably do that one as a live build as well on a live stream. So yeah, that could be a fun little build. I haven't built a proper sort of serious tank for a while. Done a few aircraft, done a well, I'm in the process of building a sub at the moment, which is the DSV sub on a Saturday. So after that, the DSV sub, I will be doing a 135th A1Z Viper, I think it is. It's the Marine Corps one, and it's a 135th scale, and I think it's the Academy kit. Supposed to be a good kit, but we'll find out and see how that goes. Like so, and there we go. That in position. Off for nothing. We'll start with these interior parts, I think, next. Oh, right, that one falls over that area, doesn't it? Yeah, so it's going to fall into that area, so we're going to have to paint the interior of that pit section as well, by the looks of it. I will be getting some masking done on this at some point. is where the yellow is going to go. Just tiny little bits of flash that needs cleaning up. Like so. There we go. That's all of it. Yep. Okay. So that's all that part cleared up. So we know that these are most of the inside of this is going to be red, and the externals will be red anyway. So we can have fun with this bit. We don't really have to do that part, it's just that part. So we need not you, but you. Go into that area, like so. Now I use white as a base coat when I'm doing red, so I find it gives a brighter red at the finish. If you use like a duller undercoat, you get more of a dull or a darker red on your finished end product. And with it being the main colour, it just stands out a bit more. So and to that. Doors will be going to a different colour when I've got in there, so I don't want to be using the bigger brush, which I will be using in a minute. Get in those areas, the rest of the area. And today I've picked up a new subscriber, which I'm quite happy about. We did have one left, so now back up to 83 again, I think. So if you're not already subscribed and you're watching this, please feel free to hit the subscribe and like button. They're most appreciated. Every little bit helps. Yep, that's that bit done. And get the other side. I might as well do you one smaller brush out. So have we all got anything planned for the week ahead, or especially the weekend coming up? I know I intend to have a fairly relaxing weekend, hopefully, depending on what happens, or what the Mrs. M will let me do, that is. Yeah, my old back's been playing me up a little bit lately, so I don't think I'll be doing anything majorly towards heavy lifting, I don't think, this weekend. But there we go, these things happen. And there we go, that's them bits there done. No, it's hey, good evening, Scale Model News. Welcome to the show. Nice to have you in. She's saying wanders in and sits down. William Rayburn saying no plans this week. My brother just tested positive for COVID. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. Hope all comes well for him. So send the best wishes to him and hope he gets better soon. We are all now in quarantine. Yay! Well, there's always one upside, and that is you get plenty more bench time. Then William Rayburn saying hi to Muse with hugs and kisses. And Korra rings, oh no, I hope your brother feels better soon, William. Then Model Muse saying, Sunday I'll be moving stuff, so busy all week making space for it. Ooh, what are you moving around? Is it to make your modelling room better? Then we've got Korra Pink saying hi to Muse. Okay, looking. So you have a little favourite brush for this. Let's get you wet and down. That's it. Always comes in handy just to wet your brush down a bit before painting. You get a nice smooth finish. Now, normally I wouldn't paint this front section. But this time I am, because I've got the hatch open like I have on the other one, but the other one was covered, sealed over. This time, with the little tank man, you can actually see in to it. So the internal is going to have to be painted this time. So easy enough to do though. You don't have to be as fastidious as you do with the rest of the back. But it does help. So even though I've got that edge piece there ready, I'm not really too worried about going over the seating area because that's going into black. So that'll easily cover the red up nicely. And then we've got my own tank track mix that I'll be using for the running wheels and lead belcher. And as I said, this is only the first coat that's going on. So I'm not too overly worried about the internals really on this one at that point, but we'll get it. Yeah, just sort it out as much as we can. There's a little bit of an edge there that's got to be painted yellow, I think, if I remember rightly. No, I will paint in the other side as well, purely because you can actually see between the tracks for when it's actually put together. And this is one of the reasons why I like to brush paint, because you can actually get the paint anywhere and everywhere. And as you all know, I build differently to most, where a lot of the people will actually put all their builds together and then paint them. I'm the completely opposite to that. I will paint mine and then put it together. And that's all under edge done. Yeah. So I hope you can all see what I'm doing well enough. I might have to move the camera in a little bit more next time, but hopefully you can get the general gist of what I'm doing. As I'm still trying to remember that I've got to work over my mat. I seem to have a habit of wandering away from it and moving it close to me. Let's see. Here you got JC Ricks. James is saying hi to Muse. William saying hi. Just got sick last night. Oh dear. Inherited some furniture. Well, someone Muse is saying inherited some furniture and a piano from my ex-mother-in-law. I think that is supposed to be. Oh, a piano. She'll be tickling the ivories then. Sounds like fun. Okay, so that's that. All that edge done, I think. There we go. That's that piece inside. Had its first coat. I might have to be going raiding Dad's stock of Mephiston Red at some point. That's the way things are going. We're going through way too much of it doing all this lot. I'm sure Dad can spare a few 100 gallons of Mephiston Red, and he owns near enough all of it. He'd probably be sitting there with his ears burning, saying, "Who's mentioning my name in vain?" And if you're watching, Colin, at some point, I hope you're feeling better soon, mate. Notice you did cancel your show on Monday, I think, or Sunday. Well, one of your shows, I think, is Monday anyway. You cancelled it. Sorry to hear that. I hope you're feeling better soon, mate. Ooh, I'm getting this lot. What happened, isn't it? So as you can probably gather, that like with the rest, like the other tank, this will be a lot of red on it. We'll also be adding the same yellow highlights that I've done on the first tank. What are we doing on this one as well? Just to keep my little lad happy. As I said before, he actually chose the design, the colours that he wanted. I mean, and he chose the Blood Angels faction that he wanted to do because he liked red. So yeah, he's following in Dad's footsteps on that one, I think. The only thing is, he's not indoctrinated into that horrible football stuff. So he's lucky on that one. We'll see if we can get him trained to watch Everton for him, just so then Dad can have a rival. So let's see what's you got Muse saying anywhere around him in the last 2 or 3 weeks should quarantine. Hope he gets better soon. Then we're ever saying, yep, we are. It's going to use my youngest will be playing it more than me. Obviously that's a piano. We were ever saying my mum played, we had one until she passed away 3 years ago. We donated it to the church. That's nice of you. Yeah, I mean, I think we used to have an organ when we were kids in our house, and then it's I used to have fun winding my parents up by playing it sort of like 6:30 on a Sunday morning. Used to be great fun. Not that they ever thought it was, I don't think. I think they might have got a bit upset when I was sort of playing it at that time. I'd never know why, like, but there we go. You can't please them all, as they say. So now we're just going to go over these areas. tucking around those areas where I've got to mask off at some point, just so we can get them prepped, ready for being turned into yellow. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Never mind. That's one thing I do like this base brush. It does a nice job at getting into little areas. Oh dear. Tintus in my right ear has just decided to change tune all of a sudden. Oh, that was fun. Almost got down to a low baritone, I think, then. Oh. So what other interesting things have we all been up to? Other than moving things around and making room for pianos. Which is obviously a fun thing to be doing, not. That's yeah, put on this side done. Now the reason why I'm trying not to get the red onto the insert area, because that's where that's all going yellow. So I've got been mentioned a different way when I spoke to the guys at Warhammer to have a go at try and doing, so I'm going to give that the way that he mentioned a try. If not, I'll return to using pink as a base colour again. He has given me a tip on how to, on another way to do yellow. Yeah, we'll give it a go anyway. What have I got to lose? If the worst thing happens, I repaint it white again and start all over again. Never a big deal really. Easily done. Yeah. That part done it. Okay. It looks like we're actually winning on that piece. Yeah. Oop. Okay. Now we need back for the detail brush again, so we can go around the edges. Like so. That should be near enough. The first coats involved what I need to be putting on will be on. So there we go, find some of the other smaller bits and we can get them painted up ready. All depends on if these side bits are actually dried enough for me to do the other side to them. So I'm going to I think the next Warhammer build could possibly be another piece of armour, probably well, actually no, I've got my Chaos Space Marines to do next, haven't I? I've got that. I've got some more Chaos Space Marines, the Raptors, that I'll be doing. I think I'm putting the lightning claws or something like that they're called on them. So that'll be the next one after these two tanks. But I will also be carrying on again, just working on this Blood Angels army for my son. So you may see a few of them pop up at some point whilst I was doing the other builds. Because he's wanting it hopefully by Christmas, he says. But we never know how long it's actually going to take to build all this army together. But we'll see what happens. So that's home with groceries. Be back in a minute. Okay, we'll just hang around and wait for you. Honestly. So Muse, how are you getting on with your little outrider bike? Is that coming together nicely? And are you enjoying it? And another thing we've got to do tonight is pick a topic of discussion. Last on Saturday's discussion, we were all about the biscuits and whether you should dunk certain ones or not. So we're going to have to figure out another topic to discuss today, I think. Can't have you all sitting there just watching me burnt. But then again, that's what you're producing here. Okay. So. This brush off, I'll rinse off in a minute. Starting to get a bit. Brush is beginning to start to drag, so sort of pull that. So that's where it's due to give the bristles a quick clean out. That way you just keep the bristles all together. And then it stops you building up a load of paint inside the bristles or around the bristles, so therefore it then causes it to clog and splay out. You keep it moist all the time. The paint will generally just come out quite simply. So it's trimming together. I don't know why I stopped doing around the edge and gone on to this bit, but never mind. It's looking red anyway. Like you've seen on many of my other builds, from the start. I actually build mine in parts, and this is purely to aid me when it comes to painting. That way, if I muck up one bit, I can just respray that one piece instead of the whole model. And you've got David asking, what is your next purchase? And then Mrs. M thinking that I've got enough plastic already, but that's not true. You can never have enough plastic. My next purchase will probably be another Razorback, to be honest with you, because I haven't actually got one for my army. I brought one for my son, but never one for myself. So yeah, I'll be probably getting one of them at some point, and that'll be one I would like to get hold of is the Lehman Russ tank, especially the command ones. They would be nice to get hold of, but I'm not going to pay 140 odd quid just for two little tanks that at one point came out and you could get hold of them for sort of like 35 quid a piece. I'll bide my time and wait till I can get them ones. Somebody will pop up on Facebook, no doubt, with two badly painted ones, and I'll bid on them and hopefully win, like I've done with a few other pieces. I mean, it's not hard to get one of these models and then strip it down to its component parts and then respray it and paint it. Yes, Mrs. Pink has actually brought some Gretchens. And David's thinking of getting some Tau troops. Yeah, should go well with command suit. I think I've got a few of the first generation Tau suits, well, Tau soldiers, in my meagre stash. And why I just did that in there? Or do it in bits. Back to the bigger brush. And this is, like I said, this is only the first coat that I'll be putting on this. I will be putting more coats on it as we go along. And slowly build it up. There you go. I mean, it's like I've said in the past, I'm no professional painter at this. I just play, and it's a hobby that I've enjoyed when I was a kid, and then I use this as a way of mentally relieving myself from stresses and that of the day at work. I'll come here and sit down and work at my bench, and that's what I use it for. William saying, well, it's time to start dinner. Tonight's menu is shrimp Alfredo salad with sauteed fish. Very nice. I mean, I used to enjoy the old fish at one time, but for some strange reason I ended up becoming allergic to it. I used to love fish, especially sushi. And then when I was living in Spain, we used to eat fish quite a bit. So, yeah, I don't know what happened there. Now it just makes me violently ill. Okay, so as I was saying before, we're going to have to paint the other side of these, because when you look at it from the other side, on the underside, you can actually see up between the tracks. So you can just slightly see up between the tracks. So if you do pick it up, it's best to just basically paint those little bits so far up onto the inside. That way you know you're going to cover it and it's not going to miss anything then. Oh, bleeding dog starting again. He's in one of them moods again tonight, I think. Yeah, movement up in the kids' bedroom. It's directly above where I'm working now. I was saying somebody's having fun stomping around up there. Oh, the lady's down, Mrs. M. I don't really need to paint up this far, but if I've started it, I might as well do the whole area. That way I know. Not going to look daft. Yeah, that's ready for the second coat. These bits as well, because this area will only, I'll just stick to doing a single coat on this part, because I don't really need to do a second coat in this area. As long as it's not really going to be seen totally, but it's just, I suppose, in a way, vanity of knowing that if somebody does pick it up, they're not going to see a stark white piece showing through. So it's easy just to give it a quick coat, I might say. There's something there. Let's see what else is going on with chat then. Korra Pink saying that sound yummy, William. Skull from Muse. Shrimp yum from Muse. Spring Glue saying fish nope. Skull Muse says seafood is my fave from Muse. Only thing I like more than a proper steak. No, I'd still settle for the steak first. That's more than better. Damn sight better than fish. Then we've got Spoon Glue. End slice of roast beef. Yummy. Now is that the like the end part was got all the herbs and everything like that, David? That's the best part, I find. It is covered in the seasonings. That's where you get most of the flavour. Where it's all been sealed in. That's my favourite bit. Okay, awesome. Stick it there. There we go. That's that bit done. That bit's done. Oh, this one next. As I'm not really too worried about it being neat on this part, because as I said, I'll be doing the tank tracks and the wheels, the running wheels for it, in a separate colour in a bit. I can get round to it tonight, I'm not sure. We'll see in a bit. She would hopefully be seeing David from Spur and Glue doing one of his I think it's the War of the Worlds tripod thingamajiggy soon, hopefully on his channel. I'm looking forward to that, because that's one of the films I did like watching. Not so keen on the Tom Cruise version, but I am quite happy with the older. I'm very happy with watching the older version of it. But yeah, I didn't really think much to Tom Cruise's version of War of the Worlds. There is a new mini-series on, I think it's either Netflix or Disney. That's not been too bad so far. Well, I could recommend that, I suppose. But yeah, like I said though, you can't beat the original film. It's always better, I think. Okay, so let's turn that around and see the other side. I think we're actually winning now. So I've got a lot of this to paint red. As like the next part of this one is to put the base coat of the yellow down, and then once I've got that, I'll mask it off. The base coat of yellow, like I did with the other one, and then go over with the second coat of Mephiston red, which should in theory be enough to give it a good solid coat. In theory, you hear me mention. No guarantees. Yeah. On that. But yeah, the yellow method that I mentioned earlier on, I was after speaking to one of the gentlemen in the Warhammer shop. He said you can actually use a base coat of I think I'll get it a second. Avalon Sunset, and then you go over that with your whatever the finish coat of your yellow you want. In my case, it will be the Flash Kits yellow I'm using, so it's quite bright. But that's the colour the young man has chosen, so that's what I'll use. As I said, these are for him to play as a tabletop game, and it also means that Dad's got to learn how to play the bloody thing as well, which is okay, I suppose. Something I wasn't intending to do, but there we go. And let's see, the burnt end is so yummy. Fair enough. Let's see, good evening, Brett, and welcome to the show. So you managed to get home in time to watch it. Brett's another one of our friends from across the pond, who I quite regularly chat with. He also runs a game streaming channel. So can't remember what the name of it is now. If you send me the link to your gaming channel, Brett, through Messenger, I should, in all theory, I'll post it into the group. Nobody else can post links other than the missus and myself and the two moderators. Korra Pink saying hi to Brett, and Sprue and Glue saying thanks for the shout out, Ross. Hey, you're welcome, mate. Not a problem. Same as JC Bricks and Builds. He does the Lego builds, and I gave him a shout out earlier. Just the way it is, mate. We all help each other. And we've got Hugh going proper pint of Scottish prawns, langoustines, famed worldwide, so much so we can't get any ourselves. Yummy. I wish I could bring back the old days when they were by catch. We lived on them. Yes, from mostly landed at Peterhead, I think, aren't they? The langoustines and that, where your main prawn fishing fleet is based, I think. Okay, so we have the do's. Now, we've got to make a decision of whether I want to have these closed or open. But I'll have to wait for that little lad to tell me which way he wants them. I might get these two bits painted up. Yep, it's this way around. I need it. Got to have the little rocket launcher mounted onto it. So we don't need the other side. There's this one. We need this for the mounting point for the twin bolt guns, I should say. So this is all getting the first coat, really. I will go around and give it all a second coat, probably off air, just to make sure things keep moving steadily along. I've just got to remind myself not to do too much. Once I get back onto painting something, I end up losing time, and then in the end of it I end up with a finished product when I was supposed to be filming it. Which we don't want to do. Let me just go over this side, I might as well. So a bit done. We'll paint that side anyway. Flat edge of it. As you've all probably noticed, oops, come here, you little Spain. That's what I didn't want to do. Paint all over my leg then. I do use the side of my brushes a lot. It just pulls the paint out nicely and it stops you from overloading the area too much. There we go. Now we're now getting about another 25 minutes to go and then I'll be calling it a night. Next door here. So basically at the moment just picking out all the parts that are going red and painting them up, and then we'll go around and detail each part like I did with the other build and slowly stick them all together, and hopefully we should have something that resembles a Rhino at the end, but you can never tell. I will at some point actually build my Bane blade at some point. See Hugh Gordon saying all around the coast, Ross, West Atlantic are biggest and best so. Yeah, I think the reason why I mentioned Peterhead is because the TV program, it's like the English version of The Deadliest Catch, I think it is, nearly enough. It seems like. And that's where I picked up where they sort of like landed mostly at Peterhead. Even though this area is going black at the end, the actual running boards, I'm painting it red because if you try and go a white with black, you generally get a grey. Then it just sort of shows through a bit too much. So with this being a bit of a darker red, I can get away with doing it like this. I think the other one I primed in red oxide, which is very similar to Mephiston red. Almost another part of Mephiston red finished. Oh, base part of them. I know you shouldn't really actually paint these edges because it can cause your glue to sit on top of some paints, especially enamels, and it'll cause it to peel because the glue sits on top of the paint, whatever you put on, and if you cut it or pull it by mistake, that'll just come apart. So it's always best to leave the edges unpainted, but I'm guilty of doing it myself, so I can't really say much on that one. Yep, that one done. That I'll mask off before I paint. This one. Back doors. Top hatch covers cut done, I think. Here we're going to say 95% are sent abroad, the rest are high-end eateries here, worth the weight in gold. Yeah, the that's what I picked up on when I was watching the show that they did with them, and yeah, some of the prices you'd hear them coming out with, especially when it's looked like for what they're getting and then what they're charging in restaurants for them. It's like, but then again, it's a good quality product, so yeah, it's going to cost, like most things. Might as well paint alarms. Well, sorry today that you haven't really seen me building much, but it's a matter of doing the prep work first, and like any good decorator will tell you, all your work comes out to any sort of like decent standard. It's because you've prepped it and worked on it properly. That's even something my old man taught me how to do. If you prep a surface properly, when you paint it, it will last longer. So basically, if you're going to do a job, do it right first time. Okay, that's the half his body sorted. Where's my little bit of Louis tack stick? There it is. Sadly, to the detriment of the common man, such as life. Yep, that's very true, mate. It's like any other business, mate. It's all based on profit and loss. So they're not going to sell them locally at a cheaper price when they can gain such a command price in London and that and abroad. So once again, the people that actually wanted them can't afford them. And I think that's all wrong, especially when it's a local delicacy that should be available locally, I should say. We're not having to fight over the European Council, whatever it is, to get our own product back. Yeah, that did make me laugh at one point where they were saying, oh well, you're leaving the EU, but you've got to provide us with all your fish and then buy it off back off the EU to actually get it imported back to this country. I think, no, that ain't gonna happen. Silly people. But we will not digress into politics. We'll stay out of that little mine hole. methinks. So with this one, like me son's other little spacey marine, this will have one yellow shoulder pad, but they'll have the gold trim that he likes, or what I did on the first one for him. Little soldier. Okay. Okay, you. Yeah. It's the only thing about this red paint, it is very, very heavily pigmented. So the opacity of it's great. If you get it any on you, it takes 2 or 3 washes to get it all out. That's one thing. I learned that very, very quickly. That's him ready. A little stand for the radar dish. No, don't need that, don't need that way. This one's got to be done. Yeah, I've caught the door a little bit there, but maybe a dark enough green going on it to cover that up. Yeah. Hey, no, well done, mate. But as I said, it's things will come right in the end, I no doubt. Like with all the other things that were said during that time. Got Mark Shellen joining us, saying, "Evening, everyone. What's tonight's build?" Tonight's build is a Warhammer 40k Rhino. Last week we finished off my son's Razorback, and this week we're actually doing the Rhino, which I had intended to start in last week, but I thought, well, we'll finish the other one off first. So yeah, that's the, as you didn't see it earlier on, well, there we go, that's the little Razorback, and as the still begun moves quite happily, and all the interior and everything's been painted in it. And I said before, he didn't want it weathering, so it's a shiny tank. But my son is very happy with it, and that's all that counts. So he'll have his red and yellow army, his blood angels. You got Hugo saying, yep, and then we've got Mark saying hi to Korra, and Korra saying evening to Mark. So yeah, other than getting that bit done, but I want to master off the parts for that first before I carry any further. Same as these parts here, so I think even though it's only sort of like coming up to 20 past, we might just end it here tonight, because yeah, I've got to leave that to set fully, and then I can give it a second coat, and then we can start next week. We can start doing some bit more detailing on it, but I will be doing the masking up before I actually do the second coat, and it should make it a bit easier once I've actually done the yellow and everything like that, so I can then cut him on top of the yellow with the red, and it shouldn't actually make an effect on it, so it can give me clean lines. So I will say, go back up to me face cam. Oh, there we go. So yeah, there we go. That's where we've got to tonight. Bit shorter than normal. Again, I've not been feeling overly brilliant myself, and that's mainly because of certain little things that's been playing on my head for a little while. So I will say good night to you all, and thank you all for watching. It's been very much appreciated. If you liked the stream tonight, please give it a thumbs up. Be much appreciated. And I will see you on Saturday for the Sequest DSV sub build, where we'll carry on building that one. So thank you very much, and good night.